Divine message revealed. Stop and experience 3 heavenly miracles prophesied just for you today. In the heart of the quaint English village of Ashwood, the chapel stood as a steadfast beacon of faith, but today, a holy tremor reverberated through its sacred walls. Grace, the devoted heart of the community, felt an electric charge in the air, like a whisper from heaven itself. On this fateful day, she discovered an old, dusty prayer book hidden away in a forgotten corner, its pages yellowed with time, yet glowing with promise. Her fingers brushed the spine, and a warm light enveloped her, igniting a fire within her spirit. "Miracles await, just read," rang in her heart. Oh, how she clung to that thought. Grace's son, innocent and bright, lay gravely ill at home, and doctors had feebly shaken their heads, leaving her family in despair. What else could she do but pray? As she gathered her family and friends in the chapel, walls adorned with memories of solemn prayers became a sanctuary buzzing with anticipation. Each person held hands, forming a circle of unwavering faith. "Let us believe together," Grace said, her voice trembling like the flickering candlelight around them. They shared their own stories of transformation, of hope resurrected from despair, surrounding her son in a blanket of collective faith. The atmosphere thickened with prayers rising like fragrant incense, but Grace felt doubt creeping in like cold shadows. Hours turned to days as the weight of helplessness pressed on her heart. Meanwhile, the village, once vibrant with hope, seemed steeped in worry. Just then, there it was, a letter delivered as if by divine hands. The words flashed in her mind like lightning. 3 miraculous prophecies promised healing and restoration. Clarity washed over the room, lifting their hearts. Could this be the sign they were longing for? Grace's spirit quickened with a new purpose. But would hope encircle her son in the form of reality? She assessed the faces in the room. Some radiated fervor, while others wore their disbelief like a heavy shroud. Is this a test, she wondered, or the dawn of something unfathomable? As storms raged outside, matching her internal turmoil, she cried out to God, "Show us your presence." Before those words could fade, a divine hush fell. The room brightened, and as the first droplet of rain hit the chapel roof, the ambiance transformed. Then, from the old prayer book, a flickering light radiated, illuminating every corner of the chapel, and each heart gathered. Murmurs arose around her, gasping in reverence, a mighty hush as they realized the moment was upon them. Shadows danced in holy reverence as Grace felt something shift. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can, leave a like. It really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. In that divine moment, Grace's heart swelled as she realized that hope intertwined with her prayers, and that miraculous touch was just beginning to unfold. What does this divine illumination mean for them? As the storm roared outside, the weight of anticipation settled heavier in the air. The villagers leaned closer, breathless with wonder at the unfolding mystery. Would they witness the miracles prophesied in that letter, or would despair tether them to darkness? The chapel glowed with an inner light, a divine mystery lingering between breaths, quietly waiting for the next act of faith to unfold. A profound silence enveloped the chapel, broken only by the soft patter of rain against the roof. Each drop seemed to carry a promise, each echo a reminder of the prayers that had been raised. Grace stood at the center of the gathered crowd, each soul holding on to the hope that flickered like the candlelight surrounding them. "Look," whispered Martha, an elderly woman with deep lines etched into her face, her voice quivering with disbelief and excitement. A faint glow hovered above the prayer book, pulsing gently as if it were alive. It was a sight both bewildering and magnificent. Was heaven opening up before them? The villagers exchanged glances, uncertainty mixing with intrigue. "It can't be, can it?" murmured Thomas, a skeptic by nature, yet even he couldn't ignore the sensation wrapping around him, igniting faith where doubt once resided. Grace stepped forward, her breath hitching. If faith could gather thunder and light in a bottle, it would fill this moment. This is the promise," she asserted, her voice clear and unwavering. The words poured forth like sweet honey, nurturing hope within each heart. "We have prayed for miracles, and I believe God is answering us." Looking deeper into the gathering light, she could see vivid colors swirling like the dawn breaking over the horizon. "It is a divine message," she continued, emboldened by the awe that filled the space. "We must prepare ourselves for what is coming." The congregation leaned in, the mix of skepticism and anticipation creating a fertile ground for faith to blossom. At that moment, as if orchestrated by heavenly hands, the wind howled outside the chapel and the lights flickered in response. Gasps filled the air, but Grace held her ground. She closed her eyes, seeking guidance. "Lord, help us to understand," she murmured, drawing strength from her community's presence around her. Suddenly, a great clap of thunder echoed, and the chapel shook gently. It was a sound of both warning and wonder. Those gathered reflexively cringed, but Grace remained steady, her heart burning with divine determination. "Let us not fear. Our God is mighty to save." As she opened her eyes, the shimmering light intensified, casting shadows that danced along the stone walls, painting them with hope woven from faith. Waves of warmth surged through the hearts of each person as they surrendered to the uplifting presence. It was as if peace had descended, wrapping around them like a comforting embrace. "Lord, show us what you wish to reveal," she prayed aloud, her voice now filled with the confidence born of collective faith. The villagers whispered their own personal prayers, lifted to heaven like fragrant offerings. In those moments, the light, the prayer, the storm, something beautiful began to unfold. The atmosphere thickened, blurring the boundary between the earthly and the divine. Grace felt the air shift, a tremor of something extraordinary on the horizon. Each breath became a heartbeat of expectation as they anticipated the arrival of miracles promised. But as the sacred atmosphere pulsated, a question lingered in Grace's heart. Would these be the miracles they had awaited? And what trials would follow that would test their newly ignited faith? Deep within, she sensed that the true challenge was just beginning. The air crackled with anticipation, and beneath it all, a whisper from the divine teased, beckoned her to lean deeper into the unfolding mystery. What would they discover next in their journey of faith? As the storm raged on outside, it carried a subtle rhythm, almost like a heartbeat urging them forward into the embrace of divine possibility. The air grew thick with an electric anticipation, the rain outside forging an unseen symphony. The congregation remained captivated by the light, their breaths mingling in the stillness as if time itself had paused. Grace felt a surge of empowerment. Every gaze was drawn toward her, eyes flickering with the spark of hope ignited within. Then, the luminescent pulse above the prayer book intensified, shining brighter than any ordinary light. The flickering gave way to a steady brilliance that illuminated the chapel, revealing the deep-seated faith etched on the faces around her. Each person appeared transformed, bathed not just in light, but in a sacred promise. Grace took a step closer, feeling urged by something beyond her understanding. "Let us kneel and surrender," she declared, lowering herself to the cool stone floor. The villagers followed suit, a wave of humility sweeping through the room, a sea of bowed heads and clasped hands. Together, let us open our hearts to receive what the Spirit has in store for us. The atmosphere thickened, an almost tangible presence embraced them, wrapping around them like the softest of blankets. The rain drummed steadily on the roof, and in that moment, the sound transformed. It was no longer mere weather, but a comforting symphony of worship. The room pulsed with worshipful whispers, shadows dancing along the chapel as if they too were praising. "Lord Jesus," Grace began, her voice trembling with holy reverence, "you have brought us here for a reason. Grant us clarity to understand the miracles you are unfolding." A subtle wind swept through the chapel, tossing hair and robes, and as it did, a shiver of understanding rushed over Grace. An image formed in her mind, a vision that sang of healing and peace, love intertwined with unity. She opened her eyes, her voice soaring beyond the mere human heart. "Miracles will flow like rivers. Tides of healing will wash over this land." With each word, the gathered villagers felt a warmth settling deep in their souls, a divine spark igniting within them, courage, assurance, and trust rooted in their communal faith. Suddenly, the pulsing light above the book shifted, morphing into shapes and colors that felt curiously familiar. "What is it?" A voice quivered softly amidst the stillness. "What do we see?" Grace's heart quickened. "I believe it is a revelation of our struggles, our triumphs, and the miracles meant for each of us." She paused, trying to anchor herself amidst the revelation that swirled around them. The air shimmered, and as she spoke, the congregation echoed a wave of amen that bounced off the walls. Each voice united as one, hearts aligning to a rhythm that was both vulnerable and brave. "Expect miracles," Grace proclaimed, her confidence swelling. "For God has heard our cries, and His light is here to heal. He is stitching our wounds. He is mending our brokenness. The sick will rise, the lost will find their paths, and hearts full of sorrow shall know joy again." Within her, a burning question bubbled. How would they embrace these gifts? Would they step into the unknown road ahead, or would fear tether them once more? The chapel pulsed with anxious energy, the air thick with possibility. With every heartbeat, she sensed that the dreams they had cherished, those visions of peace, reconciliation, and hope, were beginning to be realized. Would they dare to believe? As the scene unfolded before them, a warm light broke forth, casting shadows and illusions aside. But the question lingered. In seeking miracles, would they also embrace the challenges entwined with them? And with that, the promise of something beyond their understanding crested like the waves of the sea. The room settled into a deep hush, the kind forged in shared anticipation. Grace's heart pounded like a drum, calling her to the front lines of faith. She could feel the breath of the Spirit sweeping through the chapel, stirring something profound in each person present. Eyes darted nervously, yet filled with an unexplainable hope, the kind that said, "Could this be our moment?" The light above them, once a mere glow, now swelled with color and warmth. It washed over the congregation, enveloping them in a celestial embrace. Grace raised her arms, inviting everyone to lean in, to open their hearts wider. "In our surrender, we discover strength," she called with fervor. "In our doubts, let faith bloom." A ripple of whispers floated through the air as hands gripped each other tightly, seeking assurance and companionship. Their spirits resonated with the truth that God was amongst them, reshaping their fears into trust, their doubts into fuel for belief. With each passing moment, her conviction deepened. "Miracles aren't just for the rare and special," Grace declared, her voice rising. "They are here right now for each one of us. Every heart aches, but every heart is capable of healing." She felt the intensity of their collective longing. The air buzzed like the first breath of spring after a harsh winter, a mixture of trepidation and excitement. Would they dare to strip away the layers of doubt that clung so tightly? Grace took a deep breath, feeling an increase in the energy around her. "Look around you," she urged, eyes sparkling. "We are a tapestry, woven together by the hands that know each thread by heart. Every miracle begins with us, together." With each embrace of faith, shapes in the light morphed again, revealing glimpses of hearts, families, and struggles. They transformed into joyful renditions of hope, and Grace smiled as she saw a brokenness lifted, a pain exchanged for joy. Suddenly, a voice broke through the silence, a soft, trembling sound. "But, Master, what if we are not worthy?" It was an elderly woman, her hands shaking as she raised them in vulnerability. Her spirit yearned for connection, for acceptance. Grace's heart turned. "Dear sister, every person here is worthy," she exclaimed, the warmth of the call washing over her as well. "We are called to rise, not because of our strength, but through His grace, woven into the very fiber of our being." An overwhelming wave of agreement and unity broke through the room. Together, they let go of fear, and in that release, they found a deeper connection to one another and to their Creator. In an instant, Grace sensed something beyond the visible. "I feel," she paused, searching the depths of her spirit. "I feel an invitation like never before. The Spirit beckons us not just to witness miracles, but to be part of them." The intensity swelled as the lights flared even brighter. It was as if the Father Himself leaned closer, whispering directly into their hearts. They were being tasked to go forth, to share what they had received. Light to spread, hope to ignite. Tears began to flow, their eyes glistening with recognition. This was no longer about individual miracles unfolding. This was an awakening. Grace urged them, "Step forward. Let us embrace the miracles within us. Let us share them." But as she said those words, another question burgeoned within her spirit. Would they rise certified as bearers of blessings, or would the outside world stifle their new light? The electric atmosphere crackled with the mystery of the unknown. In their desire to be vessels, how many battles awaited them? And so, the journey of revelation poured forth, waiting for them just beyond the doors of the chapel. The moment hung in the air, charged with expectancy. Grace felt the weight of her heart, the pressure of unspoken fears and unfulfilled desires dancing just below the surface. The chapel doors loomed large, a threshold to the unknown. Each person present was poised on the brink of profound change, but Grace understood the fear of stepping into that invitation, of sharing their stories beyond these sacred walls. Together, she whispered into the silence, aware that unity was their anchor. Together, we need not fear the world outside. We hold Christ's light within us. The sound of her voice seemed to ripple out, wrapping around her fellow worshipers like a warm blanket. Courage began to fill the room, chasing away the shadows that whispered doubt. Grace watched as more faces lit up with understanding, a growing awareness that their struggles were the very fabric of their testimony. As if in response, a radiant warmth enveloped them, and Grace felt her spirit soar. Listen, beloved ones, each of you carries a miracle within you, waiting to be released. God's glory is not just in the extraordinary, but also in our very being. A murmur of affirmation rose and fell, a wave of hope cresting over familiar faces. Love and connection grew deeper with every heartbeat. The light flickered above them, commingling with the joy pouring from their souls. They were no longer separate vessels, but a collective manifestation of divine intention. But then, doubt stirred again. A young man trembling at the back spoke up. "But what if our miracles are too small? What if what I have to give isn't enough?" His voice was choked with uncertainty. Grace stepped forward, her spirit ignited by the authenticity of his fear. "Small? No miracle is too small when it's born from love," she affirmed, her voice penetrating into the very depths of his concern. "A kind word can change a life. A simple act of kindness can ignite a spark." At her words, a gentle understanding washed over the congregation. The flicker of hope turned into something brighter. It became a blaze. "Even the tiniest seeds grow into mighty trees," Grace continued, her eyes scanning the faces of the faithful. "It's the heart behind our actions that counts. God's grace extends to everyone. We are all part of His divine design." This felt like a turning point. As they embraced the idea that every act, whether seen by others or hidden in silence, held importance, the atmosphere blossomed into something electric. More hands reached up, more hearts began to speak, yearning to share their light. Suddenly, the elderly woman's voice came again, stronger and more assured. "Can we not pray together for those outside these walls? For the sick, the lost, and the broken? Is that not our calling?" "Yes," Grace shouted, her excitement palpable. "That is the heart of it, prayer. Together we lift our voices for those who cannot do it for themselves." With renewed fervor, they formed a circle. Each person grasped hands, and a holy hush fell upon them, enveloping the space in reverence. Grace closed her eyes, feeling the Spirit flowing through her as she began to pray. One by one, others joined in, their words weaving a tapestry of hope and compassion. As their prayers poured forth, a palpable change began to manifest in the room. A shimmer of light danced above them, blurring the distinctions of time and space. They sensed it, something beyond their earthly struggles, something divine in its simplicity. But just as the prayer swelled to a crescendo, an unyielding question buzzed in Grace's heart. What awaited them next? Would their newfound courage be enough to face the world outside? In that moment of shared hope, the doors of the chapel creaked softly, hinting at mysteries yearning to unfold. The air vibrated with a collective heartbeat, a rhythm of expectation and awe. Grace felt a surge of energy around her, as if the very walls of the chapel pulsed with life. She opened her eyes slowly, taking in the scene before her. Familiar faces turned toward one another, eyes bright, hearts open. As the last echoes of prayer faded, a profound stillness held the congregation. It was in this sacred silence that the faint sound of footsteps reached their ears. The chapel doors, which moments ago felt intimidating, now seemed to hum with the promise of revelation. An unseen force drew everyone's gaze, their collective breath caught in the shared curiosity of what was to come. "Do not fear," a gentle voice echoed from outside. A soft, radiant figure appeared at the door, its form illuminated by a golden light. Every person in the circle felt an instinctive pull toward the beauty that radiated from this visitor. Grace stepped forward instinctively, feeling an unshakable peace wash over her. "I am here," the figure intoned softly, spreading hands that glowed like the dawn. "To remind you of the miracles that dwell among you, waiting to be recognized and captured by your faith." A gasp rippled through the congregation. Their hearts raced, anticipation hovering in the air like fragrant incense. "Miracle 1, the figure spoke, is the miracle of healing. Your prayers for the sick reach far and wide. Know that every whispered name within your hearts is cared for by the one who knows no bounds. Healing is not simply physical. It is a reconciling of spirit to spirit. Embrace it, and it shall flow through you." Grace felt the warmth of hope cascade over her. She looked around, catching her neighbor's eye, a small, frail woman with hands clasped tightly in prayer. The vision of hope suddenly brightened around them, and Grace imagined the shifts in their lives, the miraculous touch of God restoring health. Miracle 2, the figure continued, and the air thickened with expectation. It is the miracle of connection. You are not alone. Each of you is part of a larger tapestry woven together in love. Reach out to one another, share your stories, for in your shared struggles lies strength. Your unity brings forth the essence of community, and through it, God's light shines brighter. The words sank into Grace's heart, igniting a warmth she longed to express. Their struggles were tailored by divine design for each other, and as they shared their burdens, they would be transformed. Miracle 3, the figure's voice rose in urgency, is the miracle of purpose. Do not doubt what you can offer. In small acts of kindness and devotion, you wield a power greater than you can imagine. Go forth with confidence, for the kingdom of God starts in your very actions. As these miraculous truths settled in their hearts, Grace looked into the eyes of the young man who had spoken earlier. Tears glistened on his cheeks, and for the first time, he offered a timid smile. An expression of understanding ignited in his spirit. The figure at the door shimmered and then began to fade slowly. Carry these miracles with you. Let them guide you into the world beyond these walls. With a final flash of light, the presence vanished, but the warmth lingered, infusing the room with radiant energy. Each person stood a little taller, hearts brimming with renewed purpose. Are you ready? Grace's voice quaked with excitement as they slowly released their hands, light rekindling in their eyes. To share our own miracles? To take them outside? The congregation nodded, the spark of shared determination igniting. But as they turned toward the doors, each step felt heavy with the weight of the world, the weight of their mission. Grace took a deep breath, feeling the expansive power within her. This is just the beginning, she whispered, glancing at the chapel doors that stood wide open now, inviting them to step into the unknown. What awaited them outside? Would they be ready to face the challenges? The answers seemed to shimmer on the horizon, beckoning them into divine adventures yet to be revealed. As they stepped through the chapel doors, Grace felt the sunlight embrace her like a warm hug, illuminating the dusty street ahead. The world outside buzzed with life, children laughing, birds singing, and the distant sound of a train whistling. It was a vibrant canvas filled with colors and sounds, a reminder of the beauty that awaited them beyond the confines of the chapel. Let's go around the block, Grace suggested, her heart racing with eagerness. We can spread the miracles. The group nodded, excitement sparking in their eyes. As they walked, Grace noticed how everyone began to shine with a new light. Their laughter was brighter, their movements lighter. They were no longer just individuals. They were a united force, one spirit on a mission. The air was charged with the fresh odor of possibility. They approached a park, and Grace's gaze fell upon a man sitting alone on a bench. He had a scruffy beard and weary eyes, his head bowed as if carrying the weight of the world. A deep sense of compassion rose within her. "Let's go talk to him," Grace said, leading the group over. As they reached the bench, the man's eyes flickered up, filled with surprise. "What brings you here?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Grace took a step forward, her heart pounding. "We've just experienced a great message about miracles," she began, feeling the warmth of truth flood her being. "We want to share that with you. We believe there is healing for every broken part of your life." The man studied them, skepticism flickering across his face like a shadow. "Healing? Miracles? What do you know about my struggles?" "Actually, we know they're hard," a young woman spoke up, her voice gentle. but we believe everyone is worthy of love and hope. We're called to support each other, a miracle of connection. Would you let us pray for you?" The man hesitated, emotions battling behind his eyes. His hardened expression softened just a bit, and he nodded slowly. As they joined hands around him, Grace felt the energy amplify. They prayed softly, their voices mingling like a sweet melody. Tears gathered in the man's eyes, slipping down his cheeks, and Grace felt the weight lift, a sigh of relief escaping his lips. When they finished, the man looked up, transformed. "I felt something shift," he said, choking back tears. "I didn't believe I could feel this again. Thank you." Grace's heart swelled. This was their purpose, to remind one another of the miracles available to them. The man had just encountered the miracle of connection, and it had changed him. As they continued to walk through the park, their spirits soared. Each interaction, each heartfelt conversation built upon the last. They met a woman who had lost her job, and the group rallied together to support her, offering not just words, but tangible resources. They shared stories of struggle, laughter, and healing, each person's presence bringing layers of depth to the bond they were forging. Gradually, Grace sensed an even deeper miracle rising among them, the miracle of faith. A faith that spread like wildfire, igniting hope in their hearts and leaving imprints on all they encountered. The sun dipped low on the horizon, and a serene hush fell over the group as they gathered back outside the chapel, filled with joy. They had witnessed miracles and shared them freely, but now an awareness settled in. Their journey had only just begun. "What's next?" one of them asked, eyes wide with anticipation. Grace smiled, glancing at the vibrant sky. "We carry these miracles with us wherever we go, but there's something we need to unlock, a deeper purpose yet to be revealed. What if there are more miracles waiting to be discovered beyond our imagination?" With excitement dancing in her heart, she felt the heavens whisper secrets just out of reach, beckoning them toward new beginnings. The ethereal glow of dusk wrapped around them, painting the world in soft hues. Grace felt a stirring inside, a gentle nudge from above. "As we venture forth, let's keep our hearts open," she said, looking at each person with a loving gaze. "What if tonight we listen, really listen for the whispers of God? The next miracle could come in the stillness of a quiet moment." The team nodded, each one absorbing her words as if they were honey, rich and sweet. They began to stroll, moving slowly through the familiar streets, the air fragrant with blooming flowers and fresh grass. The neighborhood glimmered with life, a child chasing a puppy, an elderly couple strolling hand in hand, laughter spilling from an open window. Grace wished for them to notice it all, the miracles not just in grand gestures, but in life's tiny details. Suddenly, a flicker from the nearby cafe caught Grace's eye. There sat a young woman, hunched over her coffee, her shoulders heavy with worry. Something in Grace's spirit stirred. "That could be another miracle waiting," she murmured. The group shifted their focus toward the cafe. As they approached the young woman, they noticed her shaking slightly, a silent battle raging within. Grace greeted her with a warm smile. "Hello there. We couldn't help but notice you look a bit lost. Can we sit with you for a moment?" The woman lifted her head, surprise washing over her features. I'm not sure if you can help," she said, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind. "We may not have all the answers, but we carry hope. Sometimes sharing our burdens lifts them," Grace offered softly, brushing a strand of hair away from her face, her heart reaching out. The woman's defenses softened, and she shared her story. Lost in a new city, feeling utterly lonely and overwhelmed, she was navigating loss. It was as if her words were clouds releasing a long-awaited rain, and Grace felt the Spirit guide her to speak. "Sometimes we find ourselves in valleys, but there lies the promise of a mountain ahead," she said, feeling the truth resonate. "You're not alone in this. What if we prayed together right now? Let's invite healing into this moment." The woman hesitated, looking uncertain but hopeful. She nodded as tears spilled, the dam of emotion breaking free. They formed a circle around her, hands clasped tightly, hearts united. Grace closed her eyes and whispered prayers, asking for peace, strength, and connection. A warm breeze swept through the cafe, caressing their faces, wrapping around them like a divine embrace. The woman's breathing steadied, and soft sobs turned into gentle smiles. When they finished, she looked up, eyes shimmering as if new hope had ignited within. "I never expected this. Thank you. I felt something shift. I didn't know I could feel love in a strange place." Joy radiated among them, a tangible glory that filled the space. They realized the miracle they had just participated in was just the beginning. Each moment spent in compassion, in love, was a thread woven into an intricate tapestry of divine purpose. As they stepped out of the cafe, the evening deepened around them. The sky, now heavy with stars, seemed to whisper secrets of the universe. Grace paused, sensing an invisible pull. What if, just what if, the next moment is where we're meant to pour our efforts? Her heart raced at the thought. Let's seek out the next person in need. There's more for us to discover. What awaits us in the unknown? The stars twinkled brightly above as they took their first step toward the next destination, hearts intertwined with purpose, echoing the beckoning possibilities of miracles yet to come. The soft hum of city life enveloped them as they set forth, Grace leading the way with an unwavering spirit. A deep excitement bubbled within her as they ventured deeper into the stillness of the evening. With each step, she felt the shadows dance and the stars twinkle in affirmation of the journey they were on. "Do you feel it?" she asked the group, her voice breaking through the night's tranquility. The anticipation of something beautiful? There were nods, but an air of curiosity lingered, filling the space with wonder. They knew they were not just wandering aimlessly. As they walked, names and faces drifted into Grace's mind, people from their community needing a touch of light. Ahead, a small park glimmered under the moon's illumination. Children's laughter spilled from the swings, a joy so pure it made her heart swell. Grace felt drawn there, sensing it might be the right place for their next encounter. As they entered, a young boy caught her eye. He stood off to the side, clutching a deflated soccer ball, his face twisted in worry. With a gentle nudge, Grace approached him, her heart aching at the sight. "Hey there, what's got you looking so glum?" He looked up, eyes troubled. "I lost my friends. They were playing, and I couldn't keep up. Now I'm all alone." Grace knelt down beside him, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Sometimes we feel alone in a crowd, but remember, you're never really alone. Let's ask God for a little help, shall we?" He nodded, hope flickering in his eyes like a candle barely lit. Grace glanced back at her friends who gathered around. Together, they formed a circle once more, hands joined in unity. Dear God, send warmth to this young heart, fill him with joy, and guide his friends back to him. Each prayer wove a cloak of peace and assurance around the boy. As they finished, the laughter of children grew louder, and a few ran past them. One of the boy's friends stopped, looked back, and shouted, "Hey, there you are!" The boy broke into a smile that illuminated his entire face. The relief that washed over him was palpable, and he dashed off to join his friends amid squeals of delight. A warm glow settled over the group, an echo of the miracle they had just witnessed together. Each moment shared in faith plants seeds of joy. Grace spoke softly, her voice barely above a whisper, but rich with warmth. How beautiful it is to see the love of community flourish in the simplest of ways. They continued walking, the park behind them, a canvas of hope and connection. Their hearts felt lighter, filled with the beauty of what they had just experienced. Each of them took turns sharing their thoughts, the air buzzing with excitement and inspiration. Suddenly, a soft sob broke the joyful chatter. A woman nearby sat on a bench, her head in her hands. The light in their hearts flickered to concern once again, guiding them toward her. Approaching gently, Grace offered, "Excuse me, can we sit with you? It seems like you're carrying a heavy heart. Sometimes sharing that burden brings clarity and peace." The woman lifted her gaze, revealing tear-streaked cheeks. I don't know if I can," she admitted, vulnerability weighing heavily in her voice. "What if we just listen? No judgments, only love," Grace replied, feeling the spirit urging her on. As they sat beside her, the group formed a protective circle around the woman. Grace felt the quiet rush of peace envelop them, an invitation to witness the unfolding moment of divine healing. The stars above twinkled like the promises they held. What heartaches lay ahead? What treasures of faith could they unearth in the shadows of despair? With hearts still open and spirits soaring, they embraced the mystery waiting just around the corner. As they settled around the woman, the air seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the magic of connection to unfold. Grace sensed the sacred presence enveloping them, a divine reminder that miracles were everywhere, especially in moments of vulnerability. "Please share what's weighing you down," Grace encouraged softly. The woman hesitated, looking at their eager faces, and then began to speak, her voice barely a whisper. "I lost my job last week. I have 2 children at home. I'm terrified of what comes next." The weight of her words clung to the night air, but Grace felt a surge of empathy flowing through her. "You are not alone," she stated firmly. "That fear, it tries to silence hope, but together we can lift it. Let us pray for clarity and strength." The group held hands tighter, their spirit knit together by love and purpose. Each whispered prayer wove a tapestry of hope that wrapped around the woman. Grace could feel the atmosphere thickening with expectation. "Lord, we surrender our worries to you," she prayed aloud. "Help us to find joy where there seems to be none, and fortitude where there is fear." She felt warmth radiate from their hands, a gentle assurance from above, as if the entire universe acknowledged their prayer. In that moment, the woman's face began to soften. It was as if the weight of her despair lifted, revealing glimmers of resilience beneath. "Thank you. This means more to me than you realize. I felt lost, but somehow I don't feel so alone anymore," she confessed, hope daring to flicker in her voice. As they spoke, the night continued to embrace them, the stars above twinkling as if in approval. A divine harmony played around them, uniting their hearts with a melody of faith. Grace felt buoyed by the power of their gathering. The world seemed a little brighter, the burdens a little lighter. "What's next for you now?" a young man asked gently. "Have you thought about what steps you can take?" I've been thinking of going back to my old job, but," her voice wavered, uncertainty lingering like a fog. "No buts," Grace chimed in. "You have the strength. Hold on to it. Believe that the doors will open. Miracles are waiting on the other side of your faith." The woman smiled weakly, and Grace felt the spark of transformation blossoming in her heart. They began to discuss possibilities, plans coming together like hesitant buds breaking free from winter's grasp, yearning to bloom. As the dialogue flowed, their laughter and tears intermingled, creating a symphony of hope that danced under the stars. Grace recognized that miracles were not merely grand gestures. They blossomed for connection, understanding, and love shared between souls. Suddenly, from behind them, a voice called out. It was the boy from the park, now beckoning with bright eyes. "Are you all coming to play?" he asked, excitement bubbling through his giggles, his friends dancing close behind. "Yes," the woman exclaimed, the heaviness in her chest lifting completely. The innocent joy radiating from the children was infectious, and they surrendered to the magnetic pull towards the swings and laughter. It was in that moment, surrounded by joyous sounds and celestial lights, that Grace understood the culmination of their journey, nurturing the miracles, molding them into shared light, and releasing them into the world. Someone in the circle shouted, "Let us join!" And before long, they were in a whirlwind of laughter, their hearts dancing together like the stars above. Grace felt the incredible truth settle powerfully within her, that they were empowered to be the bearers of miracles wherever they went. As the night continued, the group moved from the park, each step igniting divinely inspired enthusiasm within. The woman, now radiating newfound hope, walked shoulder to shoulder with them, her heart swelling as they turned their attention to the world around. "Every person we meet, there lies another miracle to offer," Grace mused aloud. And with that realization, the journey ahead seemed filled with endless possibilities, each step igniting the flame of God's light within them. The ethereal shimmer of dawn began to break the horizon, and Grace felt the Spirit breathing optimism into the new day. With her friends beside her, hearts woven together in strands of faith and purpose, they ventured forward, ready to bring light to every shadow they encountered. It is the moment for you to act. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this impactful ending, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. You need to show your support. Don't wait even one more second.